My mom's going to make Hot Pockets.
Yes.
All right. Welcome to the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast. You can find us at www.liftheavyrunlong.com, on Twitter and Instagram at liftrunlong. Also, feel free to email me directly at the address wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you're not a member of our private Facebook group, you should be, because we want you to be there. Search for Lift Heavy Run Long Community and request to join right now. I am one of your hosts. My name is Wilson Horrell, and I want to let you know that the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast is censored, but we're not going to have to censor it because everybody's going to use pleasant language because it makes my life that much easier. Now we've lost a couple of hosts because they're not capable of making it through an hour without using their potty mouths. However, my raging hot wife is got a clean mouth, and she is going to... we're going to skip right on along that.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. How was your week?
It's been busy.
You have been busy. You're always busy.
It's busy.
But you've been busy doing good things. Mm-hmm. Saving lives.
Working out.
Coaching.
Going to Little League baseball games.
Going to Little League baseball games. Proctoring tests. Administering exams. Making sure that the youth of America turn out to be positive young adults of the future, which you have a great amount of patience. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, that's fun. I like it. I like going to the kids' school and seeing them during the day.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. How long were you up there? How long did you have to sit in the hall?
9, 10, 11, for 3.5 hours. That's
very nice of you. You spend a lot of time at the school volunteering for them, and that's a good thing.
I like it. It was comforting when my mom used to volunteer at the school, even if I didn't see her.
I feel the same way. Yep. All right, next to my wife, we have Angi Ramsey of Midsouth Runners.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great.
Good. And we have the Reverend.
I'm here.
Vaughn Rawls.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you.
We got a big race coming up this weekend.
We do.
Tell me about it.
That's the Watchtower 50-mile run.
And Amanda and I will be doing the 50K.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking that we're going to be about... Do we start at the same time?
We start at the same time. That's correct.
We'll end at the same time, too.
That's what I was thinking. It's going to... within an hour or so.
Yeah.
I figured it'll probably take me 10 hours to do the 50K.
50-miler start at 6 a.m. 50K starts at 6 a.m.
And it'll take you how long to do the 50-miler, you think?
10, 11 hours.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And... unless I decide to quit the 50K, you have that option here to.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
So when do you have to make your mind up? At what point? Like what mileage?
There's a turn like 16.
Okay.
The turnaround for the 50K. If you decide you don't want to run, you can just make a left turn and head back.
Yep.
You can totally do that.
Well,
Whereas if I decide, what is that?
Wilson and I haven't done this before, so this is a new race for us.
Right.
I saw your YouTube video where you kind of climbed up the rocks on the mountain, climbing up the mountain.
Yeah, you get to climb a mountain about 3.5 miles into the race. You get to climb over the mountain, and it's very nice. It's very challenging, and when you get to the top, it's really cool because you can see for miles. I mean, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And I never would have thought in Little Rock they had something like that, but when I got there for the first time, this was the first 50-miler I ever ran. And I saw that mountain. I was like, wow. And then when I got up there, I was like, yes. So every year I did it. When I got to the top, there's a dude with a camera, and I would always just like stand up and like my arms out like that, and that's my pose. I've got like 4 or 5 pictures like that at the top of that mountain, but it's like the scenery in the background is incredible. Wow. Yeah, it's
cool.
Super cool.
But after you get through all that climbing monkey business, you're pretty much back to pretty good ground to run on?
Not really. When you get
probably should have researched this a little bit more.
Your part of it is not that cool. It's harder. Like when what I mean by that is when you go out and back, you're all in trail, like mountain trail. Like after that, when I go out to 25, it's pretty flat. right? There's some creek crossings and stuff like that, but it's relatively flat. So when I get back to that turnaround point to come back, it kind of sucks because I'm back climbing up hills.
Oh gosh.
So is this compared to Sillamore? How does that?
I think Sillamore is probably harder 50K wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's weird because the mountain makes a whole it throws kind of a wrench in there because it takes you probably 30-40 minutes to get over that mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like you're on a trail. You're literally climbing up rocks.
Yeah.
So you're on kind of like not hands and knees, but you're using your hands and your feet and your knees to climb up these rocks all the way up to the top of the mountain and then back down again. So that is kind of a screwy thing to throw into your.
Have you seen anybody fall?
No, I don't think I've never seen anybody fall, but it's not like at Sillamore there are spots where I'm gonna fall. I could fall off this mountain and die.
Yeah.
You're not when you're climbing the mountain, you're not on a trail, so there's no like I'm gonna fall. I could fall off of this.
Right.
Okay.
And, you know, like you're not. That's not gonna happen.
You can fall down and go boom, but you're not gonna like
Right.
be done.
Yeah. So that's one of my most favorite races that I've ever done.
Well, there's some pretty intense stuff going up that hill that's on video, but I feel like that's like everything else where people want to make a big deal out of whatever parts they can make a big deal about.
Yeah, I did.
And, you know, it's not 31 miles of that.
No, not at all. But it's not easy either. So, like, my first video I did the first year, I think it was the first year I took my camera with me, my phone, and I was videoing, and you can just hear
Stalker.
like all the way up the mountain. It's pretty funny.
So, the world's best looking cameraman is not with us tonight,
He's
Mr.
not.
Brian Swanson.
He is not.
He seems to think that going to the purple and gold game, is that what it is? The Notre Dame?
Notre Dame? I don't know.
Notre Dame
anything
spring game?
about
It
football.
would not be purple.
That's LSU.
That would be LSU. So it would be the green and gold.
The green and gold
Maybe.
game? Okay.
I have
One
no
of
idea.
those.
I get it confused with Christian Brothers because I know his brother-in-law is a big Christian Brothers guy.
Purple.
So he found spending time with his family and, you know, carrying on annual traditions to be more important than working the camera at the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast.
Loser.
So we're going to have to talk about that. So for this week, we have another fine-looking gentleman, Gary Papa G. Kale,
That's right.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for
Coming,
having
Gary.
me.
who has also been a guest on the show
I have.
and a member of Olive Branch CrossFit,
That's true.
and a guy that we're pleased to have joining us. I want to tell you about the Lift Heavy Run Long app.
Please do.
We have one,
We do.
and we want you to get on it. You can try any of our programs for a week. For $3.99, you can be on the Lift Heavy Run Long daily, where you'll have access to the community, and you'll also have a barbell workout, a WOD, and body weight workouts every week, and you'll have access to trainers, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really cool thing, and for $9.99 a month, you have access to whatever programs that Lift Heavy Run Long has to offer, and you can subscribe yourself to those programs, and they'll be delivered directly to your app. And it is happening, and it's where it's at, and it's a lot of fun. And we're trying to bring it to you for as inexpensively as possible because we want as many people as possible to have access to fitness at some level. Obviously, we're not going to get rich on putting people on an app for $3.99 a month. However, things do cost money, and we're trying to, you know, at least make the bleeding as little as possible. If you or someone you know does not have $3.99 a month and needs some fitness or access to fitness, whether they're whatever problem they have going on and they need the fitness, email me at wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. They're welcome to be on it for free and until they get back on their feet.
This is off the subject, but we forgot to clap.
Oh.
We sure did. We need to do that. Vaughn, will you clap the clap?
Go ahead and do it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Does that mean everything we've said up until this point is
No,
or not?
it just needs a sinking point,
Okay, gotcha.
and then it'll sync up with that clap. That's very important. We got the Lift Heavy Run Long Ambassador program
We do.
up and running. Emailed all of them today,
Awesome.
and I am fired up about that. That's going to be fun. Really excited.
That is.
Yeah, I
We
can't wait to see the
Awesome people
applications.
who are wanting to help support Lift Heavy Run Long, so they'll be coming your direction. My internet is not working, so I'm not happy about that. When I say not happy, I mean like really not happy at all.
Did we have any reviews?
That's what I was going to ask.
Would you like to go ahead and ask that?
Do you have any reviews?
Yes, we do. You want to know how many we have?
3.
2.
2. Wow, that's
But we've had
2.
2 reviews, but we've had quite a few 5-star ratings where people rate, but they don't leave.
Okay, they rate. They just don't say anything.
Yeah,
That's cool too.
Which is cool. Although I like it when people say things. Y'all want to hear them?
Yeah,
I'm gonna make y'all hear them, whether y'all want to hear them or not.
I want to hear them.
I almost gave it 4 stars, but I can't. They gave it 5 by C Diddy 81. I've been binge listening for nearly a week and it has quickly become my favorite podcast. You seriously begin to feel like you are sitting amongst friends. I have laughed out loud in my car and shouted, "Oh my God, me too," at my phone. For me, I've enjoyed it because it brings together fitness-minded people and their stories, whether they compete, own a fitness-related business, or maybe just an average person like me trying to be better. It's just real honest talk that you'll hear. I've truly been inspired by what the hosts and athletes have accomplished and has pushed me to want to do more with my running. I can't wait for new episodes. The only reason I would give it a 4 is to make it more legit for Jacked and Tan. Gotta listen to get that reference. Thanks for putting this together every week.
That was an awesome
Nice.
review.
That was a very good
C
one.
Diddy 81.
Thanks, C.
I'll
Diddy.
I'll take that 5-star, I guess.
Wasn't that cool?
Yeah. Now rate us the 1 star.
I've got another review. Y'all want to hear it?
Is
Yes.
it 1 star?
I'm going to read it to you. It's like hanging out with friends. 5-star by Susie078. Every listen is like hanging out with friends that feel more like family. As a runner of 25 years, I used weight training only during the off season, but I am currently working through a major case of mental burnout with running, and I happen to find CrossFit. Recently, I started to feel conflicted because I started liking CrossFit more. But after finding this group and their podcast, I feel more encouraged and supported than ever before and no longer conflicted. I can enjoy both and be the all-around healthy human I work hard to be on the daily. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Sweet.
That was really good.
How about that?
I'm
Yeah.
burnt out too
Nice.
on the running.
that mental?
I am too.
Mental. It's crazy. Mental burnout is a real.
Yeah.
It's
thing.
a real thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why she needs to get on the recalibration plan.
That's right.
That will help with
That
that.
will.
That's what it was designed to do.
Yep.
And then we had one of our ambassadors asked, she had a question for the podcast.
All right.
Where do athletes, especially women, start when it comes to nutrition for people who run and lift? Like if you're going to see a nutritionist, I know that this can go on forever and never have one size fits all. But if you go to a nutritionist, chances are you need to go to one that runs and lifts. Correct?
Well, I'm not sure about the term nutritionist. There are a lot of people that are not nutritionists that are helping people do a lot of awesome things that can't call themselves nutritionists. And in fact, that's not really what a nutritionist is. So careful in that and using that word and searching for a nutritionist. I do know a nutritionist, Leslie Schilling, who would certainly help you do anything you wanted to do. But for me, like I don't necessarily think that I would look for a person who runs a long way and also knows how to count macros or subscribe macros or whatever it may be. I want somebody who knows about food and says,
Good food.
That was my question. Do
And
you go
so-
in search of the lifter and the runner, or do you go in search of the person who understands the food?
somebody that understands food. Hey, if I tell you I'm going to be out running 4 hours every weekend, I'm going to be in the gym for an hour, 5 days a week. What do I need to eat? And that person should be smart enough to go, well, here's what you need to eat. right? And I think
So the knowledge would translate over. They wouldn't.
Right.
It wouldn't be mandatory for them to spend 4 hours in the gym and 10 hours on the trail to
right.
know what
well,
your body will do. with
for
that
me,
food.
I feel like
I hear that.
for me, I just eat.
Yeah.
So I don't. This is not something that I'm interested in finding somebody to help me
Right.
Eat.
Brenda,
But-
I am not going to be your nutritionist.
Right,
if that's what
exactly.
you want.
But if you're the type of person that needs a coach to tell you what you need to be eating, then
Especially if you eat unhealthy.
especially if you eat unhealthy and you just don't know what to eat or you
Right.
just don't know what you're doing, then a person that knows about a coach that can ask you, hey, what's your training look like? How many hours are you spending on the road, the trail? How many hours are you lifting weights? What are you doing this and that? And then they can formulate something for you. So the Cindy Caudys, the Alex Macklins, those types of people, I'm totally comfortable. If I needed someone to tell me what I'm going to eat, then I would probably call Alex, me personally. Amanda would probably call Cindy Caudy. I don't know, but you know what I mean? Those are the people that...
But they fit all of that. They have the knowledge in nutrition, and they also have experience in lifting and pushing their bodies.
Well, exactly. I mean, they're athletes, and they know a lot about working out and eating. So, and I feel like for a runner, that's probably good enough. I wouldn't say, oh my God, you can't tell me what to eat if you've never ran 100 miles before, because nobody's ran 100 miles. Where am I going to find a nutritionist
Yeah.
that runs 100 miles and squats
right.
300 pounds? Like I can't.
Jeez.
There's not a whole lot of those.
Yeah.
I said nutritionist again. Where am I going to find a coach to tell me what to eat?
Right.
That does all those things.
Nutritionist is really a bad word. You got to be real careful.
It's
about
not. There's
that.
a lot of legal stuff to it. Like you can't. You can tell people what to eat, but you can't say you're a nutritionist.
I ate an entire large Pizza Hut pizza on Saturday, and
You had to carb up.
I was getting ready for the race this weekend, a week ahead of time. Isn't that what it takes, a week? And I stopped. I told you this. I stopped with 2 pieces left just on principle. Just I felt like people are supposed to stop eating at some point, so I'm going to do that. And then I ate the rest of it. But I could have just kept eating forever.
Well, I wouldn't have been able to let it go. Like I would have put the 2 pieces up, and then I would have went and watched a show or something, and I would have been like, "There's 2 pieces.
There's still 2 pieces of pizza. in there.
Just
Are you good at this or no?"
And then I ate a dozen oatmeal cookies. This was 2 nights ago. A dozen. Not like I ate a whole lot. It was almost like a dozen. It was a dozen. A dozen. With some peanut butter.
How'd you feel?
Yeah, I felt fine. That's part of the problem. It doesn't hurt me as bad as maybe it needs to. Angi Ramsey,
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
how are you?
I'm great.
Thank you for being on the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
So you are a race director.
Yes.
Is that your full-time thing?
No, I work for Kimball Clinic full time.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm a benefits coordinator there. I help with all sorts of things: FMLA, workers' comp, employee, wellness,
Yeah.
all of that.
We just built your new website. The company I work for.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool. Good.
Lift Heavy Run Long did. Lift Heavy Run Long. So you must be a pretty organized person.
I try to be.
Yeah.
My husband helps me.
How did being a race director come into your life?
Well, it's one of those things where I realized it probably about, 3 years into running. I just kind of felt like, okay, I'm doing all this running, having a whole lot of fun. Everybody, out there and getting the race ready for us. And I thought, wait a minute. I need to serve others too. I need to give back to the running community, like they give to us. And I needed to find some purpose in my life. And I went and volunteered for the Germantown Half Marathon and 5K. And I met Steve Stone, who's one of the timers that's well known here in the area. And he was like, "Oh, so you want to help? It's going to be at 5 o'clock in the morning." I said, "I don't care." You know? So I got out there and started helping him hook up everything, and I was like, "Wow, this is fun," you know. And then I did the backup timing, and I was like, "Oh, I really like this," you know. Okay, and so kind of kept that in the back of my mind, and was kind of in a low spot in my life where I just was going through some depression, you know, and started kind of praying. I'm a spiritual person, but I started praying for something to help me find my passion and purpose and to serve others. And it was one of those moments where I just kind of heard the voice of God that said, have a race to raise money for missions and for your church. And I kind of thought it was weird because I was like, okay, that's, you know. But went and spoke to a friend at church, and she was like, wow, that's a great idea. And it kind of went from there, started talking to the pastor, and they had their very first race. And they were like, wow, this has never been brought to us before. And we've only done bake sales. So we had the first Go Run 5K, and went so well that word kind of got around that, oh, she helped, you know, assist with that. And then I did the Mayfest 5K as my very first official race, and just started going from there and just started planning more and more.
I like what you said about I'm no stranger to low spots in my life. I'm no stranger to depression.
Yeah.
And I'm also no stranger to the necessary benefits of finding passion and finding purpose. I'm a spiritual person. And I like what you said when you acknowledge that what you felt like you were being led to do may not make any sense at all, but you're still like, being an aware and sane person, you're like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But okay.
It was like, seriously, it was like a voice in the room, and it was just a really wow moment, you know? And it's been really fun. I've been doing it now for, I guess, going on 8 years, and I love it. And then finally the opportunity came up to where I could do my own under Midsouth Runners, my business. And my husband helped me. And Toretta Hall, who's my volunteer coordinator, I met her through Chris Hope, which I think you guys know very well. And so she and I and my husband, we had a couple other people, Laura Beard, put this thing together, and it went super fantastic. So we're really happy with it.
Now, is your husband an organized person?
Very.
Which one of y'all is more high strung of the two? That would be you.
We balance each other.
Do you get bent out of shape pretty easy?
Sometimes.
It seems like being a race director, it would be really
It
easy to
can.
get bent out of shape.
Don't send out surveys after the race.
Is that pretty bad? Do people get down on you pretty good?
Well, you know, I think like I like to put myself out there because I feel like, okay, I know I'm not perfect, and I know that I want to hear everybody's opinion, what they thought of it, what I could do better for next year, because we did change it up from, you know, years previous. And so when I sent out the survey to say, hey, what did you like? What did you not like? What are some suggestions that you have? You have those moments where you're like, seriously? That's what you want to complain about? But
if you can't say something nice,
yeah,
then
don't
fill
say
out
it
the
at
survey.
all.
Well, it's a weird. It's so weird because, especially in running and endurance events, everybody's got a giant ego to begin with.
Yeah.
So you walk into an event going, it's all about me. Like, what do I get? Like, what's going on? What are you doing for me?
Yeah.
You know, nobody goes into it going, oh, this is going to be fun. And
She probably has a lot going on. It's okay if we're late.
it was raining and she couldn't, the T-shirts weren't delivered. So, you know, like, that's okay. I'll get my T-shirt next week.
Exactly.
Like,
I don't need another T-shirt.
there's no good guy endurance athlete.
Those T-shirts are some serious business.
That is
You
serious
better
business.
order extra, because if you don't and someone signs up the day of, they're going to be upset.
Why is that?
I do it too. I'm like, didn't you order extra?
Now, are you familiar with the Chattanooga, what is it, the Five Bridges Marathon and
Seven
the
Bridges
Seven
Marathon.
Bridges Marathon and the
No.
debacle that's been 2 years running?
Oh, no.
It's been pretty bad.
Oh, wow.
Both times, what was it? Last
It
year.
was short. It this past time it was long, a mile.
Is
too
that the
long.
one that was like
And then
really
the
short?
Year before last, it was short. I got done and I looked and I was like, I PR'd. And I looked at my watch. I'm like, I'm not even to a half marathon yet. So I did the half the first year, and then last year I did the marathon. When I looked down at the marathon, I was like 27.9 miles or something. I was like, what? So they've had issues. And then last year their T-shirts didn't come in, so like 2 days before they went and just got these regular cotton tees and printed this.
No.
Their awards were from another race that
What?
they tried to.
Their
So
half
here's
marathon
what I would
awards.
do if
Oh,
I was that
no.
guy. Number one, I would make sure the race was long enough, exactly. But number two, I would just make it fun. Like, okay, I personally made all the T-shirts, right? Which means I went and bought white Hanes T-shirts and drew on it with
Your hand.
with a marker, and then I spray painted rocks and wrote your name on it, and that's what you get for the finishing medal. And
I
then,
like it.
And then it becomes like
Let's do a race together.
and then it becomes like a novelty type race.
Well, that's a good idea. Or to say, you know what, like I really dropped the ball on this. The problem that they had was whoever their PR person does not need to be a PR person, because they were constantly arguing with everybody. Like they were, instead of just saying sorry, like we really made a lot of mistakes on Facebook, they're just like jabbing back and forth, jabbing back and forth. It's like, man, just go crawl into the hole and come out, get a big bottle of vodka, go hang out, and don't talk to anybody for a week, and then people forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. They just kept
wow.
after
It's
it.
a Boston qualifier, so they had to go calculate
Yeah.
everybody's race times that went over to calculate back.
that's
my
really
gosh.
bad.
Yeah, it was really bad, and they lost my time completely. So for for 2
You
weeks,
didn't exist.
yeah, I didn't exist. So for like 2 weeks, I'm like,
no.
dude, I know I didn't qualify for Boston, and I know I'm probably one of the slowest ones, but I still need to see my time and to show that I ran that.
I gotta
Please.
claim my
Wow.
results.
So
I
they finally
would-
posted it.
Like I was under the assumption that if you were a Boston qualifying race, you wouldn't have that room to.
I think a lot of people were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shouldn't have been an issue. Fortunately, I wasn't trying to qualify for Boston, so it was. a
Well, I never
relatively
go
minor
and
issue.
run the St. Jude Marathon and end up at 26 miles. It's
Yeah.
always 26.2 on the
Yeah,
money.
it's on
like
the
it's
money.
not ever 25 or 30.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't have been happier to wrap that thing up at like mile 11.8. I was like, woo! Like this is nice, because Amanda was doing the whole marathon. I was like,
Going
I'm taking
left,
it to
I'm
the
going
truck.
right.
Yeah. And so she had extra to run. No, did you have extra or short? You had,
I had extra.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done well with that at all.
But it's so funny. So they've posted, this next year's race coming up, and it's so funny. Everybody's like, "Don't do it."
Yeah.
Like I got on there just to read the comments, and everybody being like, "Oh my
gosh.
gosh, they can't get it right.
Wow.
Don't do it."
Have you had anything that dramatic, any major ball drops?
No, there was only, I would say, one time. I won't say the race's name, but we told him, okay, you need this many cones for the route. It was a 5K, 10K in Memphis, and he told the person how much he needed, but somewhere there was some communication that got screwed up, and
Can we start guessing and you nod your head?
well, the cops almost called the race off, and
Really?
people were out there running. And my awesome husband said, No, I'm going to fix this. I'm just sitting there like, you've got to be kidding me. And he ran and got the trailer, picked up other cones where he knew people were finished, and started just putting them out
that's a
there
good idea.
to finish out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he improvised that quick. Yeah, East Parkway.
Oh wow.
So it worked
that's a
out, and
busy-
everybody got to finish, and
busy
everybody was
area.
fun.
Yeah.
But you have those hiccups every so often.
My favorite is we did Country Store 15K one year,
That was my favorite too.
and there was a 5K also going on, and the 5K used the same route.
Oh.
So the 5K put cones and signs on our turn.
Oh, gosh.
So we started the race, and we were running, and even though I had done it before, I was like, well, I guess they changed the route, because we got to the sign, and it was like, go this way.
Oh gosh.
I was like, no, guys, we don't turn here. We go. I run this for fun on the weekends. Like usually we go straight. I guess they changed it. So we just followed everybody in front of us and went off onto the 5K course and just kind of went around. And then finally we realized there was another race because there were other runners.
Wearing
And
different
we were like,
T-shirts.
Oh, okay. So we just got lost.
Oh, no.
And so most of us just got pissed off and turned left and went back to the starting line and ran like 6 miles instead of
Oh, gosh.
9 or whatever it is.
Is that how that
stinks.
race was 9 miles? That
It's a
was the
15K. It's a 9.3, something like that.
9.73?
That was my favorite race.
I like that race.
Because with that, there's all this, I'm middle of the pack, going to fall back even further. But as I'm running, there's this whole chunk of elite. There's Vaughn and Greg Perry and just all the people that you know.
Yeah.
And so they're like, "Meow." And then there's the turn, and they're like, they keep going. So I'm like, whoa. I was like one of the very first people that they were like, no, you need to go this way.
Yeah.
So I'm like, see ya. So I got to just automatically move in front of all those people for the day. So I was a
wow.
champion for the day.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah. So I think about that race all the time. That was a great feeling. So before the race directing, how did you get into running? You were running 3 years before that?
Yeah. I had just been through a divorce, and so I had moved in with my parents, and my mom was one of those people where she was very, uplifting and tried to give me that positive encouragement. Like, you can't sit here and cry about it. You just got to keep going. And so we would walk a lot, up and down the road. And it became, I guess, around October, where out in Cockrum, Mississippi, if you know where Cockrum is, there's coyotes, and you don't really want to walk out at night. So I ended up getting on the treadmill, and something just said run, started running, and never looked back. It was something that just gave me that endorphin kick and stress relief. Everything just seemed to melt away, when I would go out there and take a 3-mile run. But it was.
Did you have any level of fitness?
No,
None.
I was the girl who did not want to work out because I didn't want to get my hair dirty and have to take another shower in the same day. So I was not very active at all. So this was a very, I think, a very neat turnaround in my life where I found that, being active and healthy was so important to not only just getting in shape, but just your emotional well-being.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like how running and I know working out just in general. Like, do you ever feel bad when you? Oh, I feel bad plenty of times before I start running.
Oh, definitely.
But like a mile or two in, do you ever feel bad? I never feel bad, like ever, like 100%.
Come back and be like, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that.
Come back.
I'm so depressed.
Come back. Maybe
about-
that's why I run long distances because I just want that for as long as possible.
Like, why is it over now?
Can I just run all the time?
Well, that's why I like the long distances, and I've said this many times before, is because I know what to do when I'm running long distances. There's not much that can go wrong, and it's easy for me to get overwhelmed with life and all the decisions that you have to make. And when you're out there on a trail, the only thing you have to do is just keep going.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go fast. You don't have to. You just got to go.
Just do your own thing.
And it's nice to know that you're doing the right thing
Right.
all the time. And with that comes, once I can get over the concern that anybody really cares how fast I'm running, or that anybody's sitting at home trying to find me on a tracker somewhere. Like, people don't have anything better to do with their time but to pay attention to what Wilson's doing out on some godforsaken trail, running some distance that they don't understand to begin with. Then it's a good place to be. I love it. So when did you get into the distance part of it?
Well, probably, I would say about 2 years into it, I decided, okay, I started, this is my space where you start, setting up your little slideshows and all this. I was like, oh, I want to start a running one, and I called it Memphis Runners, realized there was already a Memphis Runners. So I was like, oh no, I've got to shut that down. So I had to start over, and I came up with Midsouth Runners, started connecting with other runners and networking. And I wanted to learn more about it because, I didn't know what a minute mile pace was. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what intervals were. I mean, it was all over my head. And so started meeting people in the area, and then I was at the Y, decided to join the Y because I was tired of running on the treadmill at my parents' house. And there was a really nice guy that came up, and he was like, I'm sorry, I'm not weird, but I see you running on that treadmill all the time. Have you ever ran a race? You need to go do that because you literally run on the treadmill every day I see you. I was running like 7 days a week. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. So my first race was the Germantown Half Marathon, well, the 5K.
That was my first half marathon.
Oh, really? Cool. Yeah, so I ran the 5K, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I couldn't walk for a week.
You know what? I want to say that was my first 5K as well.
Really? Oh, that's
have to go
cool.
look.
Yeah, it was really neat. And so the more I ran, the more I wanted to, run more, of course, but I kept hearing about people doing half marathons and full marathons. So I decided to go ahead and do the country music in Nashville. Oh my gosh. I could have driven to Florida by the time I finished it. 6 hours and 40 minutes. But it was such an accomplishment. Yeah. I was like, I had a sunburn to last me for a year. People thought I had knee-high pantyhose on when I wore shorts. And so I ran a second one, a full. It was the Go St. Louis, and that one I PR'd and did way, way better. Nice. And it kind of found myself injured quite often after that. So I decided, okay, let me back down to the halves. Still kept getting shin splints. And so I stayed half or less, and then recently found cross training. And started doing Orange Theory. Love them. And it's really improved my overall health, I think.
I was going to ask you about that. You were talking about doing wall balls and some squats, and I didn't know where you what
the
gym,
row machine and
the rowing. I didn't know if it was a CrossFit gym or Orange Theory.
Yeah, it's Orange Theory.
How long have you been doing that?
Since November. I worked with a personal trainer. I found him at the Y. We worked together for about a year, and I was kind of in a slump where I gained some of my weight back, and I was just mad about shin splints. Didn't feel like running. Was burned out. Like a lot of us get sometimes. And I saw him at the gym. He looked really fit. And I was like, look, I can't get rid of this weight. I want to get back healthy. I want to get, my head back in the game. And I'm just frustrated. And he said, well, come over here and let me show you some things. I thought I was going to die. And he was like, squats, lunges, burpees. I was like, what? But started doing that for, about the first 30 days. And it started to get a little bit easier and easier. And always challenging, but easier than it was, Then we started working out at the park. And ended up gaining some people that would see us out there, and they were like, what are y'all doing? And we were pushing tires. I'd never pushed a tire before. I was like, oh, I feel like those CrossFitters. But that was a lot of fun. And then he ended up leaving to go to Canada, and he said, try Orange Theory, because it's very similar to what we've been doing for the past year. And I started doing that and love it. And it's gotten my cardio in such great shape. Shin splints are gone. Ran a half with no pain. So really like it.
Were you able to do that half with minimal amounts of road running? Mm-hmm. Just through Orange Theory?
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
I love it.
A lot better to get to where you
definitely.
can do these races without...
Yeah.
I
think that's so important. You don't want to run with pain. And it's just... you're like, is it my shoes? Is it this? Is it that? And a lot of times it's just that you're not cross training. And I think that was a lot of my problem before. You don't realize how important the weights are and, the squats and the lunges and all that.
What do you say you say every time somebody mentions YMCA, I always think about the first time I ever started working out and running. And I used to go and get on the treadmill at the one in Olive Branch. Mm-hmm. And like the dude next to me would be like, I'd be like peeking over there to see how fast his treadmill was.
And then you bump yours up.
And then I was like, well, maybe I need to go faster. And then, well, he's on 5 miles an hour. Maybe I go 5.5. You know what I mean? Like, and just looking back on that, I'd be like, man, I wish I could go talk to that guy. I wish I could just walk into there and go, hey, man, let's go have a chat. Right? What would you say to the girl that's walking up and down the road with her mom when you were saying, we just walked? that right.
Are you
Then I
saying? Are
decided
you
to
saying
go.
what would you say to the Vaughn Rawls that's on?
No,
that
I was
machine?
asking you,
Or what
like,
would you
what do
say
you-
to the guy next to you on the machine?
No, to yourself. Like
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
could walk
right.
in and be like, "Hey, get off that treadmill and let's go squat
go.
or something," there's got to be something you would say to that previous you that.
Oh
I don't know,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
If I knew then what I know now.
But I would never buy it. Even somebody telling me that, you just got to. I had to do it. There's no way that whatever conventional wisdom says never applies to me.
Yeah.
I always just feel like I've got to do things this way. I've got to do things the wrong way or this way until it just changes on its own. I'm not going to change because the old me walks up and tells me to do something different. You mentioned that you had gained some of your weight back. Was there a period of time where you had gotten...
Well, I met my husband. I'm not blaming him. But you go through that, oh, I'm so in love stage.
yeah, you
Let's
get
go
happy.
out to
when
dinner.
you're happy, you get fat.
You
right.
do. Oh my gosh.
That's
And so I was
I'd never been so in love with Amanda when we ordered the Pizza Hut pizza this weekend. And I wanted to prove it to her.
so I went from size 4 and then started finding myself in a 6 and then an 8 and then next thing you know it was like a 12 almost a 14 again.
It don't take long, does it?
It doesn't take long. It was about 2 years. And so
I meant like
I had
probably
to
2
really
months.
be patient with myself because I thought, okay, it took me that long to put it on. It's probably going to take me that long to get it off. And I'm very disciplined. I think most runners are and CrossFitters and anybody that's an athlete. But I set my mind to it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this weight back off and I'm going to get back into those jeans that make me feel better, and I want to get healthy again. And I don't know. It took probably about a year and a half to really kind of get back down into the size that I wanted. But I realized it's not just about looks. It's about health. It's about feeling better. And, I don't know. It's the overall picture.
So you've got a community of runners now that you run with and that follow you?
Well, I have the Midsouth Runners Facebook page. A lot of people follow me on that, and then run a lot of the races that I organize, which I'm so thankful for all the support and just, the people out there that are encouraging to me. I follow a lot of them too. And I haven't been running too much with groups per se. Mainly my husband and I run together, and the other time is doing Orange Theory or chasing after kids, or work and planning races right now because it's kind of a busy season for me. So,
How'd you get hooked up with our guy, Chris Hope?
that's a good story. I love Chris Hope. I was running the Navy Nautical. Gosh, I can't even remember when this was, but that crazy man, he was running with a GoPro and he was like, hey, and he was just like filming everybody. And of course I'm silly. So I was like, hey, and he's like, who are you? And so after the race, we just got to talking and, I guess, kept seeing each other at races and stuff. And I guess connected on Facebook at some point. And then, he knew that I was very much into race directing, so he contacted me and was like, I want you to help me do a race. I was like, okay. So I guess it's in our 3rd year now that we're getting ready to do a brand new course, actually. He changed it up a little bit, but he's a great guy. He's doing so much.
Where does he find the energy? Golly.
He...
He's just
I don't
one of those
know.
people that always seems like he's turned on, like,
Yeah, and he
all
turns
the time.
everybody else around him is too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how it doesn't surprise me that y'all would run into each other.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got people wanting to help him all
He's
the
amazing.
time because
Yeah.
he brings that everywhere he goes.
Yep. I heard this on a movie recently, that passion always wins. So
Yeah, that's a good saying. So what does the future of your race company look like? Is it something that you want to grow?
Definitely. I mean, it's, I have my moments where I get tired, because when you're balancing so much, it's a juggling act at times, but I still have the passion for it. I still see myself doing it for years to come. And I have about 3 more races this year so far, unless anybody else contacts me, then I'll try to squeeze them in.
And is that something that you would I don't know what the books of something like that looks like. Would you aspire to do that full time and have that be your only job?
If it got big enough, possibly. I hope my boss doesn't see this.
Yeah. So you're putting in your 2 weeks now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I really love what I do for Campbell Clinic too. It's kind of, I mean, I could see doing race directing full time, but I hate to say that totally because I do love helping the employees and my career in HR right now. So,
Is there any crossover between Campbell's Clinic and the running community?
yeah, they are so great about like sponsoring a lot of my races. So they're very supportive, and I love that about my company. And a lot of the people there, especially the physical therapists, the folks there in the PT, they'll run a lot of the races that I do too.
And they've started putting out a lot of cool blogs recently about like running and injury prevention and what to do if you're injured, like how to taper before the big race and that kind of thing. So,
Yeah,
pretty cool company.
they are. They really care about their employees.
Where are you at in relation to your races personally? Do you have any goals?
Oh, okay. Well, I am being talked into Ragnar.
Road, Ragnar, or trail?
No, the road.
Do you do any trail running?
I have, yeah. I did that. Granted, it's not like on any extreme level like this guy here, or you guys, but I did the Winter Cross Country Series. I think it's called something completely different now.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I love running trails, but I haven't done anything like hardcore yet.
Are you signed up for a Ragnar? Do you have one coming up?
No, I've got a friend that's given me some information and maybe an ambassador or something like that. So
What is that? entail?
she's getting ready to send me all the details about it, but you promote it and kind of get the word out and, really promote it. So, and it's a really cool program, and they really like to get, ambassadors out there to reach other folks to get them to come run it. So my husband really wants to do it too.
You ever done one? We did a trail Ragnar in Atlanta last year. It was awesome.
Oh, wow.
And the same group went back and did it this year.
Oh, cool.
And we sat out because we're doing the Ouachita 50K this week, so we didn't want to do them back to back. But that was an interesting experience. Whereas Ragnar, I would think, would be a lot of logistical, having the van and trying to keep up on the road.
Yeah.
Whereas this was centrally located, just camping.
Oh,
and
cool.
so just going around to different trails. It was actually where they had the Olympics, the BMX courses,
Nice.
and the trail running. And they said that now they offer glamping. It's like they'll set up every runner pays an extra $100 or something, and they'll have everything set up for you. Your tent, your air conditioning porta-john, and
That's the way I want
tables
to
and
do
stuff. And
Sign me up.
I'm all over that.
Somebody needs to start a company that will do that at every race. you go to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like when
That's a good idea.
When I go run a 50-mile or 100-mile race, they'll, for however much money, they'll bring a tent and I can just stop there whenever I want.
Yep. Well, we've got that monster lift heavy run long tent that Swanson got. It just unfortunately weighs like 800 pounds. I mean, he got the smallest of the. He got the smaller one than he was going to get, but it like won't even.
Are you
fit.
serious?
Yeah.
Maybe that's
small?
what we need to
Wow.
do. Like we need to take that. We need to be the support.
That's a good idea. Yeah, and just bill them after.
And we
or
don't-
do we tell them that we'll
We'll just put it on your account.
Just be like, come and
you
hang
can
out
only
in
do
our
it if
tent.
you're on the app. If you're on the app, tell us what race to be at, and we'll just charge your account, and we'll all show up and just drink beer all day while you run.
I love it.
And Well, you'll have a tent with air conditioning.
For $3.99 a month, you get the app, and we'll also come to your race.
And the possibility that we may charge your account a lot of money to come to the.
We'll
More
figure
than
it out
$3.
later. Figure out later. I mean, you get the possibility that Vaughn will be passed out in your tent at the end of your race, and we'll fold him up the same way we do the tent and throw him in the truck.
Oh boy.
I'd like to do a Ragnar Road, either
Yeah.
in Hawaii or Key West.
Okay, we're going then.
Okay,
You
y'all go
need-
ahead. Y'all do that. y'all need to do that.
That'd be fun.
I don't think any kind of road race needs me at all. There's no team that needs me running on a road.
You can drive the van.
Nobody needs me driving anything
Hey,
either.
you drive really slow.
That's true. That's about
That'd be
my
good.
normal
That would
speed.
be your speed.
But if I had to park it, I'd have to get
Oh,
somebody.
yeah, that'd be
to
dangerous.
park. I can't park a vehicle.
Oh gosh.
I sincerely cannot park a vehicle.
It's really funny.
Even when I have the
Even when
cameras
he tries,
and,
it's really hard.
and everything, I just can't do it. So you don't have any goal races in mind. I'm trying to lock you into something.
Oh, I
That's
see
what
what
we
you're
do. We
doing.
talk people
You're
into
leading
things.
me into
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already got you quitting your job in 2 weeks.
I
We already
gotcha.
put in your resignation.
Well, St. Jude again, of course. Love that race. And I definitely want to do a destination race somewhere fun.
I like those.
Yeah.
It's like double
But
motivation.
I don't know what it is yet, so I've just got to find something, put it on the books, train for it.
The destination thing doesn't really excite me unless it is like Sillamore, Ouachita, like the trail race and the Tunnel Hill. I guess those are all are those
Those are-
destination races?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe consider that.
Yeah.
We're
But-
doing Disney next year.
I would
fun.
do
I can't.
Here it's crowded.
San Diego, the San Diego Rock and Roll Marathon.
That would be fun.
My mom went and did that once. I think
wow.
she did the half marathon. She walked the half marathon
Nice.
in San Diego, and she said it's beautiful. I'd love to go
Wow.
run a marathon out there. Any of the western states ultras would be incredible.
Well, as long as the race is my destination, is what I'm trying to say. Like I wouldn't be able to go to Disney World and enjoy Disney World. I mean, after I get done running, that's everywhere we've ever gone for the trail races have been. Our destination has been some nowhere town and nowhere, and the destination is the trail.
Right.
And you enjoy that trail, and then you go and you fall out somewhere. But I wouldn't be able to go to San Diego and be like, "Oh, this is beautiful," and after this, we're going to go to the zoo because I wouldn't be able to walk.
I don't care about those stupid monkeys.
You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
think any race that I do, my destination has to be that race. For
Do
the
you have
record.
that one sled thing you want to do as a destination race? You and Swanson are supposed to be.
That's right. The TSK Obeah,
Yeah.
200-mile sled pull.
Yeah, that's it.
it's 70 mile,
Oh my gosh.
but that would be my destination.
It would
I'm
be.
not going to go pull the sled
I'm
and
trying
then
to get
go
you to like,
to like
lock you and
skiing.
Swanson in.
We had a guy on
I'm
the
not going to go do that and then go snowboarding.
We had a guy on the show that did a 200-mile, wasn't it? Like sled, like
Yeah.
he did this race
Ed
where
Thomas.
pulled a sled where he had to carry your own
What?
supplies on the sled for 200
Stop.
miles because
Yeah.
there was no support on
No.
the. Right?
There's not support.
Yeah, it's pretty
And-
interesting story.
And the short version, the 70 miles, and maybe 80, I think it's 70, is the short version. The other one is 140 or 160. But I just think it would be better. I don't think that the sled would be adding a whole lot to it.
What?
Okay.
I really don't.
She said what?
You're already dredging through snow, and then you've got like a 25-pound, 30-pound.
I don't think
sled.
you're trudging through
tied
like
to your
I mean,
waist
it's not
and
like
you're-
shin high. It's not like shin high snow. I'm not trying to say it's a piece of cake or anything like that. I'm just saying that I don't think that you're like. It's not like these things you see on Strongman where you're like pulling a vehicle
Truck.
up a
You
hill.
don't have to pull a truck.
I mean, I just don't think it would be all that much. I mean, I'd be lugging 250 pounds by then, probably 300 pounds.
And his cookies.
Yeah, I'd have an extra
I
25
got,
pounds.
I got my cookies and my sled.
Pizza, my Oreos,
My
and cup of noodles.
Sled's got the tater
I'd like
tots
to order
and the
75
cheeseburger.
miles worth of deep dish to go, please. And they give you like, you get a certain part of your entry fee gets you, instead of like a T-shirt, you get bucks like to spend in the town. So when you go, you can see, people drink beer, hang out.
Get a warm room.
There's cans and can'ts as far as like getting assistance.
Oh.
But I don't know what those rules are. I'll never do it.
What's this called?
Tuscobia?
Tuscobia.
Maybe Tuscumbia.
Okay.
I
No,
get it
Tuscany
wrong.
isn't
I have to
on
look
there.
that up.
Tuscobia.
Tuscaloosa.
Tuscotch. So it's something I like to talk about doing, but it's something I won't do
Right.
because nobody supports me.
Right.
Hey.
I
Nobody
said
do it
I
with
would
me.
sit in a hotel room and support you guys while you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
Think about you really hard.
What else we got?
Off to Wichita.
Yeah?
What time are y'all leaving?
I don't know yet. Don't know.
Are you ready?
I'm always ready. I'm up for it. I'm up for whatever.
What time? How long does it take to get there?
A couple hours.
Like 2?
Like 2 hours, 45 minutes. Something like that.
Cool. All right. Well, Lift Heavy Run Long number 94 is in the book. Is it 94?
95.
95.
Lift Heavy Run Long number 95 is in the books.
5 away from 100.
Nice.
Thank you, Angie, for coming on
thank
here.
you.
and doing
Thank
that.
you. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
All right.